Hi everyone. In this video, I'm interviewing Shashank Singhania, a computer science major and star student at Georgia Tech. Today, we're speaking about how to study. Shashank, thanks so much for joining.
It's my pleasure, Jackson. Thanks for having me here.
So, motivation is key to academic success. Can you explain to me what motivates you to study, and can you provide some tips that might help motivate others as well?
Sure, Jackson. Very well. So I must say, motivation is the driving force that can push your grades from a C or a B to an A, right? And it is what induces you to learn more or, challenge yourself and, take more rigorous courses. At least for me, throughout high school and college, challenged me to take more rigorous courses throughout and maintain a 4.0 GPA. So motivation is important. So motivation doesn't have to be like a constant. It can change, and it can be different for different purposes. So for example, in high school, for me it was getting into a good college with computer science, getting into a top tech school. So that, and now when I'm already in college, it's about getting a good internship among the best tech companies out there. So in fact, motivation to study computer science, my motivation is to pursue artificial intelligence and machine learning for research and apply it for social good of the society. So that's personally my motivation to undertake all the courses I have for computer science and excel in them. So I feel everyone has their own unique dreams and goals. So it's figuring what is your goal and why are you studying this, or why do you have to excel in this course, or why do you need an A in this course, or why do you need to maintain that 4.0. So it's really about your motivation, and it can be different for everyone. And I think this strategy not only helps you get good grades, it helps you go out of your way to learn the material in greater depth. So oftentimes I find myself going into my material way deeper than is by my course. So I really recommend trying this out, and maybe having some quote or a photo of a college or your dream job in an accessible area, like which you can see around your workspace. I think that will help.
Do you have any universal study tips that you abide by that make you a more productive and efficient studier?
Yeah, sure, I do. So let me share a couple of strategies that I follow on a daily basis, which has tremendously helped me improve my efficiency, particularly in grasping new material. So firstly, before starting my study cycle for the day, I find it really practical to jot down all the points, what all the topics that I want to cover at large. And then the important part is breaking them down into smaller, more achievable chunks. Let me give you an example. Say I'm a computer science student. A topic for today might be data structures and algorithms. So to tackle this big topic as a whole, I can split it down to smaller topics. Say first read my textbook from pages 10 to 20, and then maybe watch lectures 1 to 3, and then probably get started on my homework. By splitting the bigger job into like smaller, well-defined job, you can fight with the procrastination. It really helps you stay motivated and get on it and get started, because oftentimes the hardest part of this is getting started. So I really recommend this. And secondly, this is particularly important for learning new material, so material which you are not familiar with. So I learned this in my psych class. I tried it out and it really worked for me. So it's like associating the new stuff you learn with the existing stuff. So let me give you a simple example. Say you want to remember a date, okay, a date in your AP history class. It's oftentimes, a lot easier to learn it if you remember a cell phone number, you can associate it with the last 4 digits or the first 4 digits or anything else. So I had my deep learning course, right? It's artificial intelligence. So I found it really helpful, connecting it with my ideas of AP biology, with the structure of the human brain, associating stuff with things you already know. It's really helpful to retain the stuff for a longer period of time. These are my two general tips for studying, and I hope it's effective for you all too.
Great. So time management is also a key component to academic success. What is your time management routine? I would assume that you're not a last minute crammer.
Yeah, for sure. I'm glad you mentioned it here. So in order to gain like the most amount of productivity from the time I spent on my desk it's crucial to know what part of the day I am most productive at. Okay. It might be different for different people. Particularly for me, I find it later towards the evening. So I plan my rest of the day according to my most productive time. So as I said, later evening. So my study time is reserved for roughly 4 p.m. to 2 a.m. I know it's late, it's perhaps later than others, but this time works best for me. So I would recommend others, choosing which time you're most efficient at. You can concentrate most effectively, and then scheduling your rest of the day around it. So having mentioned that, I wake up a little late. Since I sleep late, I wake up at around 9:30, and then I have my lunch and I take my classes and all that stuff, and after that I get to my desk at 4 and then leave at 2. So this is really what my schedule and my time management works like. I'm against cramming last minute, because that may sometimes work for people. I used to cram in junior school, like way back then, and it used to work for me for some exams. But let me tell you, it does not work for long term memory. So if you want to learn something for your career, for your knowledge, I mean, it's not a good idea to mug up stuff the day before the exams. And in fact, I try to spend the last few weeks practicing more than learning new material. I think that is crucial for acing the exams part of learning. I really speak from experience, and I really suggest that you take some extra time out of your schedule towards the end of the reading period to take as many mock exams as you can, rather than only learning. It boosts your exam scores by a significant number. So that's that.
Great. So I know that distractions are everywhere. How do you avoid distractions while studying?
That's a good question. So a lot of tips I mentioned earlier kind of serve to limit distractions too, like making a to-do list, as I mentioned, of what you aim to achieve throughout the day. Then, maybe breaking tasks down, as I mentioned, into smaller chunks that helps check procrastination. And I personally try to stay away from my mobile phone, especially social media. I consider it to be my biggest distraction, and I'm sure like a lot of students face that too. You might not want to accept it, but it is the truth. So working on that, I think if you are expecting an important call or something, as you can have your phone by your side, but I highly recommend keeping it on silent and keeping a clean workspace and trying to keep maintaining a to-do list, as I mentioned. And one important part, like what works personally for me, is I try to keep like most of the stuff I would need in the next couple of hours on my desk, okay, so that I don't have to leave my desk even to get a glass of water. It really increases my efficiency of working because I don't have to get up, and I like to work in a quiet place rather than listening to music. But do your thing. If you like listening to music while studying, if you think it helps, go ahead, do that. Those are some of my strategies that you can practice to avoid distractions.
Great. So I know that it's easier said than done to make studying a stress-free and anxiety-free process. Do you have any tips to eliminate the stress and anxiety attached to studying?
Sure. Okay. So we have been talking intensely about what I do while I'm at my desk. So let's switch some gears and talk a little about some stuff that you might want to do outside of academics. So this might not sound directly linked to academics or work, but I think for me, I really need a solid 7 to 8 hours sleep at night. Every night, that sleep make sure I'm fully energetic the next day. Even if I play a sport or even if I work out, I feel really, charged, and I don't feel drowsy and like lazy and grumpy. So it really helps me raise my efficiency. Secondly, it's really important to take out time for your hobbies. I like to play squash, I like to work out. So I make it a point to take out at least a couple of hours each day to spend on stuff I like. And even apart from these two things, I like having free time, spending time with family. Balancing both parts of your days, like studying and having free time for your hobbies, is really important. And I think this in general just makes the entire studying process more relaxed and more enjoyable. So it's important to take out time for yourself, for stuff you like to do, to make sure you're recharged and stress free.
Great. So to wrap things up, do you have any tips for all of the students out there taking online classes? Has that changed the way that you've studied personally?
Yes, definitely. I mean, we all know like it has been quite a transition from offline to remote learning. So it's been a big change, as a result of which we obviously spend a lot more time in front of our TV or laptop screens or desktop and computers or on our smartphones. So, on a positive note, I think sometimes it saves you a lot of time. Instead of walking to classes and driving to school, you just have to log into a Zoom link. So I think it gives you a lot of extra time to explore and do stuff you like, stuff outside academics. It contributes to your relaxing and hobbies part of the things. And also, most of my classes are asynchronous. I really enjoy that flexibility, and I like taking classes on my own time, like whatever time works for me. So, having said that, I think it does take a lot of motivation to attend online classes and prepare for online exams. However, if you stay motivated, if you plan your schedule ahead of time and make a to-do list and engage with the material as much as possible, I think that shouldn't be a problem, and you can use it to your advantage. One thing I would like to mention, which has particularly helped me save a lot of time and get in my best, is spending that extra time in learning the technology that your school is offering, right? Say Microsoft Teams or whatever. So learning that particular technology makes navigating through all your work and assignments a lot easier. It contributes to the efficiency. And personally, I also like taking notes on paper. I think it's just a way of having the handwritten notes in case you don't feel like sitting in front of your computer screen or taking a break from screens once in a while. So, yeah, some of my experiences with online classes. I hope that helps.
Thanks, Shashank, for joining us today.
Thank you so much, Jackson. Thank you so much for having me with you today. And it was really nice sharing my experiences of challenging me and keeping that high 4.0 academically. I sincerely hope that it helps other students too. So good luck.
If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And for more interviews like it, please subscribe. Have a great day, everyone.